Recently, I found out about Isonzo. It's a battlefield type game with a World War I setting, and I thought it looked like fun. Ever since I finally got it a couple weeks ago, I've been having fun playing as a lowly soldier in a battlefield full of other lowly soldiers. Today I want to talk about Isonzo and explain why you should try it out too. You might be wondering what the heck this game is, and you probably want me to say the name another time so you can finally figure out what I'm even saying. I don't feel like doing that, but here's the Steam store page. You'll notice the tags say very heavy things like war, atmosphere, PvP, which honestly could probably sum up a third of the games on Steam. What's more helpful is this little micro description here. Ferocious alpine warfare will test your tactical skills in this authentic World War I FPS. Battle among the scenic peaks, rugged valleys, and idyllic towns of northern Italy. I mean, that kind of sums it up to a T. Since it's set during World War I, you're going to be using bolt-action rifles and stuff like that. Since it takes a really long time to reload after you've shot a bullet, you kind of have to take position and tactics into consideration. You can't just rush in guns blazing, because if you miss a shot, your opponent will have plenty of time to take a shot of their own. That's especially important because in this game, one shot can very easily kill. I guess that's probably the reason for the whole ferocious part. You do have to be careful because you can easily be killed by a single bullet, which means you kind of have to work hard and think strategically if you want to win. In terms of gameplay, it's pretty similar to lots of games with battle in the title. Battlefield, Battlefront, BattleBit, you get the idea. You have to capture objectives by spending enough time in them, but if you run out of respawn tickets, you lose. It does mix up the formula a little bit. Rather than try to make more symmetrical maps, these developers have chosen a formula where one team attacks and one defends. This means that the defending team will probably have an advantage, but the attacking team can choose different tactics in order to confuse the defenders. Certain roles also help mix things up. You have your classic riflemen, snipers, and engineers, but you also have commanders, which can do cool stuff like tell your team where to go or call in support. You can switch roles to fit your playstyle, but with the exception of riflemen, the roles are limited in numbers, so it's kind of on a first-come, first-served basis. Remember how I talked about bolt-action rifles a second ago? These things are a huge factor in how you play the game. Every single shot matters, and that's kind of the core of the Isonzo experience. You have to play your cards super carefully to avoid being shot, and when you do manage to get an elimination, it's very satisfying. Lining up multiple kills in a row without getting hit is also super fun, as you know you're kind of pushing your luck every single time you shoot. The time to kill being high means that you're on the edge of your seat, but I also think it's important to emphasize that it's also a low time to die. If you aren't careful, you can easily die just seconds into a match. The rifles are pretty accurate, and if you get in somebody's crosshairs, even from across the map, they're really going to try to hit you. This might not be everybody's cup of tea, but for every time I got sniped as I was minding my own business, I also got shot in some tense-paced firefight. The cool moments stick out more than the annoying ones, so it's easy to brush off the mild inconvenience of having to wait a few seconds to respawn. While I'm talking about sniping, I guess I should probably mention the AI. This is one factor of the game that isn't really that great. There's a sped up clip of me kind of spawn camping them. This would be kind of funny, except they never really caught on. They just kind of kept doing the exact same thing, never trying to take me out, never trying to choose a different spawn point. You'd think if this was a real person, they'd probably be smart enough to figure this out. The AI in this game doesn't really do that much though. So the time I played with just AI, I got 33 kills. That's over 10% of my team, which had 24 bots in it. Which means that a random guy with 2 hours on the game is better than all of them. I mean, that's not really that shocking, but really, honestly, the AI doesn't take that much away if you can find a lobby with people in it. One thing that really does stick out from the crowd, though, is the visuals. The graphical fidelity isn't really that impressive. Like, there's no ray tracing, nothing crazy like that, but it still manages to look really good. Most FPS games like to have lots of gray colors to make it seem dark and atmospheric, but Isonzo has a lot of color. It's bright and beautiful, and the destruction to the environment makes it look exactly how I imagine it did back in the day during the war. Well, it's not terribly stylized, it still manages to look amazing, and if you're going to be staring at a game, it might as well be a pretty one. So, here's the question. Should you buy this game? Well, I'm not really the one that can answer that for you, but if you like FPS games where it doesn't take like 45 minutes to drain your health bar, this game might be for you. It says a lot that this game motivated me to make this video for the 50 very kind randos that subscribe to my channel, so maybe it's worth a shot for you. Check it out today on Steam.